Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch One. Thanks for logging on. Today we are looking at the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore T3 Limited Edition. You can see this Terminator 3 themed Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore and buy it on our website, watchyouwant.com. You can purchase it there, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. You can also click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time to see our full listing for this watch with the unique boxed set, high-resolution images, and of course price. There's also a link to our website in the description box. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, this watch is just flat out too big for me. I'm going to be honest here. If your wrist is the size of mine, this is the visual impact you're going to get, which is to say it sits secure and all in titanium. This 48mm watch is quite light, but you really have to be committed to the idea of an oversized timepiece. Frankly, I would say that the minimum size to wear this watch with any sense of proportion would be a wrist somewhere between 17 and 18 centimeters in circumference, but regardless, you're going to get one heck of a timepiece. Now, ergonomically, the watch is 48mm across, which is something of a theoretical measurement because you can see the massive grenade cap style crown guards and pusher guards. Now, they swell the case to over 50mm when measured across, and from lug to lug, it is a truly huge 61mm. Now, in terms of thickness, the aspect ratio makes it look quite flat, but it's still 16mm thick, so pretty girthy. It does have a nicely sloped octagonal bezel, so you can slide it underneath blazer or sport jacket sleeves. You just have to have one heck of a big sleeve, but this is one heck of a big watch to match. Now, I will say from an ergonomic standpoint, entirely in titanium, this one wears a lot lighter than the 48mm Shaquille O'Neal in either gold or stainless steel. This is an easy watch to wear on your wrist, even though it is quite large. And one of the reasons is because Audemars Piguet for the 48mm offshores reverted to the original lug interface, the original strap interface from the very first Royal Oak offshore references. You can see with a single hinge point, it's actually quite easy to get this to pull straight down, to get the strap to essentially not flare, not billow, not fight the curvature of a smaller wrist. And AP was careful to implement this particular lug style, specifically because it does make an immense watch quite wearable on most average-sized wrists. Now, at 16 centimeters, my wrist isn't exactly average-sized, but I do appreciate the gesture. It makes the watch far more wearable even than the 44mm Royal Oaks on my wrist. Now, I'll also say that the strap is completely exclusive. It's immensely broad and of incredible quality. It has real substance to it. You can see it flares and it actually matches the swell of the lugs, and that prevents the watch from torquing side to side on the wrist because it has a good stance, it has a good base to hold it secure. Now on the underside, there's a very supple calfskin leather, and you can see that the watch is accompanied by a nice, simple, easily adjustable, oversized, brushed, and Audemars Piguet branded pin buckle. A perfect combination here because you're going to want to make quick adjustments on the fly when putting this watch on just about any wrist of any size. What I really like about the watch is that as a timepiece, it may actually be superior to a conventional Royal Oak offshore, and that's because all of the calibrations of the dial, constant seconds, chronograph, hours, minutes, and seconds, as well as civil time at center, are beautifully laid out, so the watch doesn't look crowded. The chronograph subregisters have plenty of room to spread out with a beautiful white-on-black printing, and then the dial itself features outstanding contrast with applied white gold Arabic hour numerals. You can also see that each one features abundant lume, so this watch, easy to view during daylight hours, is equally visible during low and no light conditions. Again, oversized, perhaps even outrageously so, somehow the watch succeeds as an implement for telling time. So as impractical as it may be, it does regain some utility as a timepiece. Now, of course, it has a classic Royal Oak offshore sunken date window with internal magnifier. It's not a Cyclops eye external like a Rolex. Now, the T3 content's pretty impressive. You can see that the watch uses a sort of grenade pin cap design to shield the chronograph pushers, and each one has a nice unique mushroom profile underneath. Each one's very crisp to operate, and because of the vertical clutch chronograph module, the seconds hand starts and stops very smoothly. You can also leave it running continuously to further improve the utility of the timepiece, because with a vertical clutch there is no additional wear and tear on the movement. Now, the crown guard does actually stay in place. It is fixed. It doesn't move. The crown is pulled in, out, and operated entirely within the confines of the guard. On the case back, a solid case back, we see a tribute to the title movie, Terminator 3. It's worth mentioning 1,000 of these watches were made, of which 750 were this anthracite-dialed version you see here, and 250 were the white-dialed version. Now, inside the watch is the tried-and-true Audemars Piguet caliber 2226 with a 2840 vertical clutch Dubois de Praz chronograph module. The base movement is a JLC 889/2, so a very modern, ultra-thin caliber, very sophisticated and beautifully finished in its own right. It beats away at 4 Hz, so 8 beats per second. It does feature hacking seconds, so when you pull the crown, it does stop the balance and allow precise synchronization. It also has a rapid quick set selector for the date, so should the watch need to be corrected during irregular months or should it run down, you can quickly set it right. Now, the watch features a 38-hour power reserve. It also has a relatively high jewel count. With 54 jewels and 370 parts, the watch is as complex within as it is without. And of course, with a base movement by Jaeger-LeCoultre, you're getting high horology on the inside as well as the outside. And of course, 100-meter water resistance is retained, so if you do put this one on a rubber or textile strap, it's good to jump in the surf this summer. You can see this truly oversized Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Terminator 3 limited edition and buy it on our website, watchyouwant.com.